And action!
Welcome to an Intentional Marriage Podcast. We are your hosts, Kristen and Chad Cottingham, and we are here to discuss all things marriage because you know why? We know great marriages don't just happen. You have to be intentional.
Kristen, it's great to be back. We've had a couple week hiatus here. We went down and saw our grandkids in Atlanta. We had Thanksgiving. We had another big event. But so it's good to be back.
It is.
Because I was missing talking.
Because this is really the only time we talk, isn't it? No, not really.
No, it's not.
But no, it is. It's good to just, be back talking about real life issues, real things that we can all share and encourage each other with.
And speaking of real things we can all agree upon, we are in the Christmas season.
Yes.
We are 3 weeks away, a little over 3 weeks away from Christmas. But it's full-fledged from Black Friday all the way through. And some people are doing it back in October.
Yeah, I'm not one of those. We are definitely I start after Thanksgiving. I am one of those Christmas crammers, and
I start on the 24th.
Yeah, you don't even listen to Christmas music until the 24th, so okay.
Oh my goodness.
Not saying you're a Grinch, but no, just kidding.
Christmas is supposed to be, and it's usually such a wonderful time of the year. We celebrate the birth of Jesus.
Yes.
There's so many cool things. Our kids loved it. Our grandkids now love it. And if you've got little ones, Christmas is so fun.
There is some magic in the season.
But what about the parents?
Yeah, for the kids, there's so much magic and excitement. And for the parents, there's so much stress and hard work, I feel like.
Yeah, but can we say that? It's like, Christmas.
Yeah.
We look forward to it.
I didn't always look forward to it. And honestly, there were years I actually dreaded it.
Well, Kristen, if you think about the things that come up during Christmas that really, what we're going to talk about today is how to keep the merry in Christmas in your marriage.
Yes.
Because too often there's things coming on, the money of it, the budget, how much we're spending at Christmas season.
Yes, money is big.
Family, all the get-togethers, the family parties. We're going to your folks. No, we're going to mine. And then just the stress, the overwork.
Yes, just the running around and making food and wrapping gifts and
it's nonstop.
It is. It's nonstop. Go, go, go.
And
the decorating. Don't forget that.
And I'm not a drinker, but I can see how people jump into eggnog, during the holiday seasons because oh my gosh, just one more thing and one more get together, one more party.
Yes.
I couldn't wait till it was over. I couldn't wait till December 26th or 7th. We do your mom's on the 26th.
Yes.
We could catch your
just
breath
a
as
lot.
parents. It is a lot. It's wonderful. Don't get us wrong.
Right.
And maybe you've never experienced stress during the holidays, but if you're like us,
so if you have it, if Christmas is just a joy-filled season for you, maybe just turn us off now because to us it's a lot of work and a lot of stress. But you know what? We do want to talk about keeping the merry, MERRY, in Christmas, and just kind of reflect back on some of our experiences and maybe help others not do those things. And do keep the joy in Christmas.
Because, Kristen, these things we're going to start discussing, as they come up around Christmas, the person that gets the blunt of that is our spouse.
Right.
We're going to be nice at the family and we're going to smile. And on the way home, we're ripping our spouse or we're fighting that evening.
Right.
A,
because we're so tired.
We're tired.
Yes, and B, because we're peopled out. And
I can't believe your mom said this. I don't believe your dad did that.
Yeah.
How much money are you going to spend on the kids again this year?
There's just so much. So how can we alleviate some of that Christmas stress? How can we keep Christmas to be a time of joy and celebration? And how can we keep things into perspective? So
let's jump in the first one. The first one I think we should talk about is money.
Yeah.
Because Christmas costs a lot of money. And in today's economy, it's even harder. Food's more, gifts are more.
Yes.
It's getting harder and harder. So one of the biggest things I would recommend is that people set a Christmas budget.
Yep.
Talk about how much are we going to spend per kid? How much do we have? Maybe even you pull money out of your check each week or every other week, setting aside for Christmas.
That's what we did, and that did help some. Our little $20 a check.
We didn't have much. We never did, but we would take money out each week out of our check. And I think by the end of the year, there'd be like $1,200, and you'd go and you take all that money out.
My little cash envelope.
Cash out, and literally by Good Friday weekend.
Black Friday.
Black Friday. Not good, but Black Friday. It was gone. And you still had 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks left. And it's like, I thought that's what we budgeted. Where did it all go? And hey, I need some cash to go get something for the kid. There's not enough.
Yes. Okay, so here's where not just setting the budget, I would say communicating about the budget as well.
Yes.
Because, yes, like we said, okay, hey, here's your $1,200 or whatever amount. I mean, we'll just say that.
200.
Yeah, whatever. But here's your set amount. Well, then that might be a nice little chunk, but if we have 25 people here, that's got to stretch a really long ways. So I feel like also not just setting a budget, but talking about, okay, these are the people that we need to buy for. Or is there anybody that you can think of? Like, you'd
There's
say
always somebody we'd forget.
yeah, or I really would like to get something for so-and-so at church this year. She's, just had a kind of a rough year. I'd like to just make it a nice little surprise for her. Or you'd say, I forgot this other secretary, in our office. I'd really like to do that. So talking about not just amounts and budgets, but the people you'd like to buy for, because I think that will save on the back end too, after all the money is gone. And like, where did all of this go? Well,
and then
we had
there's none
25
left.
people. Yeah.
And then we start putting it on credit cards.
Right.
So all of a sudden, if we're like a lot of you guys, all of a sudden January, this huge credit card bill.
Yeah, then
How am I
that's
going to
stress.
pay for this? What the heck? We don't have any money budgeted for this.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. We're going to come back and talk about finances and budgeting in another episode.
Yes.
This is about Christmas.
Right.
But we know money is a big part of that. And it's so much of the conflict that we had over the years.
Yes.
I know a lot of our listeners do. It becomes over the finances around Christmas.
Right. Well, and I think too, we have to keep in mind to be realistic with, we're even something small to give somebody is still a nice gesture. We don't have to like give these extravagant gifts, but just something small and just to remember to keep it within the budget is.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to jump to a story, Kristen.
Okay.
One of our first Christmases together. Now, and if you know us, we had to get married quick. We were young. We were still in college, working part-time jobs. We had no money. So one year, the first year, I think you were hoping to get crafty, to save money. You're trying to respect our budget.
Yes.
And so you were going to make some things.
I was going to make, yes. Okay, so I think
Now, our daughter Maddie is crafty. Maybe she got it from you.
Yeah, I think she did, because I really made a really cool craft this year. It was for your mom, and it was one of those grapevine wreaths. And I got some like those artificial flowers, and I got some ribbon, and I like made a bow and got out the hot glue gun, and
You spent a lot of time on it.
I spent a lot of time, and I really was trying to disguise the fact that we didn't have a lot of money to buy a nice gift. So I thought maybe a handmade or homemade gift would kind of
And actually,
take
it's probably
over.
more meaningful.
Yeah, be more meaningful. And so I spent this time, and I got my hot glue gun out, and I'm putting all this little wreath together, and I remember giving it to your mom, and she was so gracious about thanking me, and I remember she did go and put it right on the front door, and I felt so good. And then I overheard you in the kitchen, and you said, "Mom, don't you really like that wreath? Kristen spent so much time, and you know what? She made it for less than $10." And I wanted to crawl in a hole. I was so embarrassed
And why
that
were
you
you
said that.
embarrassed, though?
Because I didn't want her to know that it was less than $10. I didn't want that to like take away the meaning of the gift. I thought maybe if I made it, it would be more meaningful, and it wouldn't matter how much I spent.
Right. Because we were worried about money not having them. But I
Yes.
think the time you put into that was the gift.
Yes.
And I think it was yours. But we just had this impression that,
Yes, the more the better.
yeah, if we had a bigger gift or if we had more money, we had that mindset. And so that was just the beginning of many of those challenges,
Yes.
hurdles, and struggles. And sometimes just not understanding where we were coming from.
Right.
Because if I go back, Christmas, I want to ask about your Christmas as a kid and mine.
Okay.
What were yours like? I mean, was it all kinds of gifts? Was it one? Did you have nothing? What did it?
Mine,
What's your
I would say
mindset?
it was a nice middle class Christmas, if that's a way
What's
to
it-
describe it.
what's that mean?
Meaning, I had 3-4 gifts, and they were nice gifts, and I looked forward to it. It wasn't like, I don't feel like it was this extravagant, but it wasn't like I didn't have nothing. It was just a nice handful of gifts, and I felt special and loved, and it was exciting.
Well, on my end, my parents were over the top, the most extravagant givers I've ever experienced
in my life.
And then when we got married, it continued with you.
Yes.
And our sister-in-laws.
Yes.
And then our kids. I've never seen anything like it. It was over the top.
I will give a little, this is not even necessary, but it's a rabbit trail here, but coming from why this happened was because your mom, this came from your mom, she wanted to make Christmas so over the top special because of her mom growing up in the Great Depression. They didn't have anything.
Right.
So her mom started this tradition of just extravagant gift giving, and it carried on to her. And then I kind of took it like, these are expectations from your family that I need to carry on. I can't get each other 25 gifts.
So back up here.
Yeah.
So it was extravagant, but I didn't expect that for me or the kids. But I think it was unspoken.
Yes.
And then that's how often we went out of budget or out of what we were going to do or planned on doing. And then so all of a sudden we got ourselves in trouble because we kind of communicated about a number, but we didn't talk about the why.
Right.
We didn't talk about the meaning. That really the gift you made and the time you spent that one Christmas was probably the best Christmas gift you ever gave.
True.
But we turned it into,
I
got to keep up and I got to give. And so, oh my gosh. And so I can't keep saying how much stress that caused during the season every time you'd be going to the store. Now she just hides the Amazon packages.
I do not.
I know many of you do the same thing.
I do not.
I get the notifications, so you're not fooling me.
You stop right now. But no, I think having a budget, having some realistic expectations, communicating along the way through the process of Christmas and saying, hey, I bought this for so-and-so. Because and maybe this can kind of segue into another topic about all of the work that's involved, but the communication piece, I think, between us is huge because that does help alleviate some of that stress and the fights coming up on the back end.
Yes. Next thing, Chris, I want to jump into all the Christmas parties, the family parties, the get-togethers. When you're first married, you're trying to navigate. Are we going to my mom's house?
Yes.
Are we going to your parents' house? Or I have blended family. We got to go to my dad's and my mom. And so all of a sudden, there's all these things you have to go to, or you feel like you're expected to.
Right. Well, and I think we want to, we want to spend time with our family, and we want to, we don't want to disappoint our family and say, oh, we can't come or whatever. But I think the ultimate rule of thumb is that we have to do what's best for our family, for our marriage, and this is, I'm pot calling the kettle black here, saying, trying not to disappoint others. I would always want to do everything to make everybody else happy, and I can't say no here because I can't disappoint. And in the long run, I end up disappointing you because you're running ragged, we're staying too late, or I'm giving my best to everybody else. And then, like we said at the beginning, we come home and you get the worst because we're tired, we're peopled out, and all that kind of good stuff. So, once we kind of had that mindset of, hey, we have to do what's best for our family. And yes, we would like to go and celebrate with all of our families. And we will try our best to make it happen. But you know what? Maybe there's 1 year that we can only stay for a couple hours here. Yeah. Or, it might not work this time. I just...
Right. And you got to play that because we talked about this in a previous episode. Maybe you heard it, where we finally had to talk to your family, say, we can't do Christmas Day, because we would do Christmas Eve with my family, then we would do Christmas Day morning with our kids, and then we would travel Christmas Day to your family.
Yeah.
It got to be too much. And so finally you had that conversation. It was great, but that became a busy weekend.
Yes.
We do something the 24th, 25th, 26th, and sometimes the week before we're doing another family in Detroit.
Yeah.
So it still became
Yes.
It was still a
well,
lot.
and a lot of it is unavoidable. It's we go and do because it's the year, it's the season, time of year. But I think too, underneath all of that too is just keeping a healthy respect for one another. Giving each other grace, trying not to lose our patience. There's just a lot going on. So just really trying our best to still be respectful, still be patient, still be helpful. Because you know what happens when we're tired and, I start getting cranky and I start getting snappy. And
And I think out there, I know speaking for us and maybe some of you too, I think you felt like you had to do it all.
yes.
I think you had to do all the gifts.
Yes.
You had to also get for the parents and then you're cooking the food, and I would kind of show up. And so there was a resentment
Yes.
at me, and I was like, hey, how can I help? What can I grab? I'm like, I know what your brother's like. I'll let me get their Christmas gift.
Yes.
I know what our boys like. Let me get them this.
Yes. That was huge.
I think you felt like you had to do it for so many years.
Yes. So that would be my third suggestion here. Not only setting a budget, keeping realistic expectations, but number 3, sharing the responsibility and along those lines, asking for help. You're right. I thought I had to do it all. It all fell on me. This was my responsibility to make things nice and pretty and get the right gifts. And maybe it was, I don't know, a control factor. I'm not sure where that came from. Or just maybe I just saw my mom do everything. So I don't even know why. But once I started asking for help, that stress was alleviated. Even decorating. Hey, can you bring the tubs up? Can you bring the totes up? I'm not going to let you decorate, but I will ask you for help with the totes.
But it took you time because for years, you wouldn't say anything. You'd be like, you watching a game again? Or, now, what are you doing? I mean, it was this sarcastic question, like, thinking I'm going to jump up and help. And I said, hey, can I help you? No, I'm fine. I got it. It was this irritation just oozing out of you towards me. But yet you wanted me to help, but you didn't tell me how to help.
Yes.
But I should know how to help. And it was this dance we played, and I was 2 left feet because I didn't know what to do. I was just wrong. And so the whole month of December, it was...
Yes. Not very merry, was it, honey?
Not very merry.
So, all right. So how do we keep the merry in Christmas, honey? What are the action steps again here? I feel like we kind of told on ourselves a lot. And maybe it sounds like we didn't have a lot of joy, but we did have a lot of joy in our Christmases. These were just some ways that I think can help keep that joy, increased and stress decreased.
Christmas is such a wonderful time, especially when you truly focus on the meaning, focus on the birth of Jesus and really what it's all about.
And getting together with family and celebrating and really enjoying each other's company, people that you don't see all that time, all the time. Like just really focusing on connecting. It's not necessarily about the amount of gifts or the price of gifts or whatever. We just add so much stress to ourselves that is unnecessary. So
some of the tools we've been talking about in communication, it comes really in need during the holiday season. So when you talk about budgeting, sit down and have those conversations.
Yes.
We talk about all these things you're doing. Can something be eliminated? Can something be shortened?
Yeah.
Does it need to be tweaked? Is it best for your family?
Right.
And lastly, ask for help. Seek help.
Yes.
Do it together because you're going to have more fun and enjoy the holidays a lot more if one person isn't trying to do it all, if we're staying within our budget, if we're keeping our boundary set and what we're doing, how many parties, you're going to enjoy the holiday season and not regret it.
Right.
And like a lot of people do.
We don't want to be the Grinch, do we? We want to have a good Christmas. And most of all, though, we want to stay connected during Christmas and not, fight and have so much stress. So, on that note, I think we do want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and we do hope that you stay connected this holiday season. And I do think a topic, though, that we do want to come back and revisit, though, is the topic of money and finances, because like we said, we touched on it, how it does affect us in Christmas, but let's come back and revisit that, because I think, money and marriage is a big topic that we can talk about in the upcoming year. So
Sure. So guys, have a very Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Enjoy your family, your friends, and especially your spouse.
yes, because great marriages don't just happen. You have to be intentional. Thanks, guys.